You wake up before the sun. The cave is cold, damp, and utterly silent, except for the soft crackle of dying embers in the fire pit. You're not alone. Your kin are scattered around you, sleeping under firs, limbs tangled like branches. The air smells of smoke, blood, and damp stone. You pull your rough hide cloak tighter and step toward the mouth of the cave. Outside, the sky is beginning to bleed, light first purple, then pale blue. You look up. Always, you look up. Because the sky is not just where the sun lives, it's where the spirits dwell. But here's the question. Echoing through time, did you believe in gods? To answer that, we must look at what you left behind. Not bones, not tools, but symbols. Take Cavemen Cave, France, around 36,000 years ago. On its walls are hundreds of handprints, swirling animals, abstract symbols. Some are layered on top of each other, repainted across generations, like sacred graffiti. But what's odd is what's not practical. These weren't hunting instructions, they weren't blueprints, they were spiritual expressions. Archaeologist Jean Klotz, who led one of the most detailed studies of the site, concluded these images were made not for communication, but for ceremony. In fact, many caves with the most elaborate art are difficult to access, deep underground through twisting corridors, lit only by flickering torches. Why go through such effort unless it mattered? And then there's Göbekli Tepe, Turkey, the oldest known temple, dated to around 9600 BCE, built by hunter-gatherers, not farmers. Massive T-shaped pillars weighing tons, arranged in rings. Carvings of vultures, lions, and snakes. Some believe it was a spiritual hub, a gathering place to honor forces beyond human control. The implication? Religion came before civilization, not the other way around. Anthropologists like David Lewis Williams argue that early cave art and megaliths suggest a shamanic worldview, visions, altered states, connections with unseen realms. This wasn't random. It was a structured attempt to contact the divine. Now imagine someone has died, not from disease or violence, just old age, quietly, in their sleep. What do? In modern terms, you hold a funeral. But even in the Paleolithic, humans buried their dead with care. We have the evidence. In Cavemen Cave, Israel, 92,000 years ago, a young boy was buried with deer antlers laid across his chest. In La Chapelle, Aux Saints, France, around 60,000 years ago, a Neanderthal was placed in a shallow grave, limbs folded, head resting on a rock pillow. Why go through such trouble unless you believed there was more after death? In some graves, there are red ochre stains, iron-rich pigments, maybe symbolizing blood, rebirth, or the setting sun. In Dolní Věstonice, Czech Republic, burials dating back 26,000 years contain carvings of animals, ivory figurines, and tools. None of them useful to the dead, unless you believed they'd use them elsewhere. This is religion in its rawest form, not gods on thrones, but a sense of the beyond. That life wasn't the end. Let's talk about fear, not the fear of bears or starvation, but cosmic fear, the kind that grips your soul when the sky erupts in lightning, when comets blaze overhead, when the earth itself shakes. In prehistoric Finland, stone carvings along lake shores depict horned figures, possibly sky beings or storm spirits. In Australia, Aboriginal oral tradition dates back 40,000 years and speaks of sky ancestors descending from above, creating rivers, mountains, and laws. The San people of southern Africa, whose spiritual beliefs may trace back tens of thousands of years, speak of trance dances to connect with the spirit world. They believe in Shu, a creator god, and Ganab, the bringer of death. These are not recent inventions. Genetic studies show the San lineage is among the oldest on Earth, suggesting these beliefs are echoes of a far older spirituality. And then there's the Dakma, sky burials still practiced by some cultures even today. The dead are placed atop towers for vultures to carry their souls into the heavens. Versions of this ritual appear across Tibet, Central Asia, and even the Andes. Again, it's the sky, always the sky. Let's step back. Could it be that early humans created deities to explain what they didn't understand? Thunder became a god. Fire became a spirit. Death became a passage. Maybe, but it's deeper than that. Even in Paleolithic times, people built cosmologies, mental maps of how the world worked. Some caves, like Lascaux, are thought to align with constellations. One panel appears to depict the Pleiades cluster, 7 stars tracked by nearly every ancient culture, from the Greeks to the Maya. How would a Stone Age person even notice that, let alone record it? Because the sky wasn't background. It was calendar, compass, and clock. And it's here we glimpse the roots of mythology. Not organized religion yet, no temples, priests, or holy books, but stories passed down by firelight. Stories of great hunts, of spirits in rivers, of ancestors watching from the moon. Even Neanderthals, once thought to be brutish and godless, may have had spiritual beliefs. A 2020 study in Science Advances dated cave art in Spain made by Neanderthals to over 64,000 years ago. One drawing resembles a ladder leading upward, with dots and lines possibly indicating ritual meaning. The more we dig, the more we find. And every discovery points not toward chaos, but toward meaning. These people weren't dumb. They were the first philosophers. Here's the strangest theory. Some anthropologists suggest that belief in spirits or gods predates language itself. How? Through mimicry, rhythm, and gesture. Early humans may have enacted stories before they could speak them. The beat of a drum mimicking thunder, a dancer imitating the deer god, a painted handprint as a form of prayer. And once language emerged between 50,000 and 150,000 years ago, it supercharged belief systems. Myths began to travel, ideas became portable. One generation whispered to the next, the fire spirit watches. The mountain breathes. The sky god hung the stars. From that seed, religions blossomed. The short answer, yes, but not how we imagine. They didn't worship Zeus or Shiva or Allah, but they looked at the world and saw agency. They sensed presence in the wind, intention in the fire, wisdom in the stars. In other words, they saw gods everywhere. And we, with our satellites and smartphones, often miss what they understood, that awe is sacred, that mystery is holy, that sometimes looking up is enough. So the next time you see a sunset or a thunderstorm or a comet blazing across the sky, remember that 100,000 years ago, someone just like you was watching too, and maybe, just maybe, whispering a prayer, not with words, but with wonder.